Hello and welcome to English in Real Life, the podcast where we help you master practical English for everyday situations. I'm your host, and today we're going to explore an important skill for travelers, negotiating a taxi fare before getting in. In many cities around the world, taxis don't always use meters, or sometimes drivers prefer to agree on a price before the journey begins. If you don't negotiate clearly, you might end up paying much more than you should, or you might have an uncomfortable argument at the end of your ride. Knowing how to discuss the price confidently and politely can save you money and prevent stressful situations. In today's episode, you'll hear a detailed conversation between James, a traveler who has just arrived at a train station, and a taxi driver. James needs to get to his hotel, but he wants to agree on a fair price before getting into the taxi. This is a real situation that happens every day in cities all over the world. We'll listen to the complete dialogue, break down the essential vocabulary you need for negotiating prices and discussing transportation, and then practice the key sentences together so you feel confident the next time you need to take a taxi. By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to ask about fares, negotiate politely, confirm prices clearly, and protect yourself from overcharging. This is practical English that every traveler needs to know. Let's begin.
Excuse me, are you available for a ride?
Yes, I'm available. Where do you want to go?
I need to go to the Riverside Hotel on Queen Street. Do you know it?
Riverside Hotel, Queen Street. Yes, I know it. Not too far from here.
How much would it cost to get there?
For you, $50.
$50? That seems quite expensive. How far is it exactly?
Maybe 20 minutes, depending on traffic. Could be 25 minutes.
I see. But $50 seems like a lot for 20 minutes. What's the usual fare for that distance?
Well, with traffic, it takes time. Gas is expensive. $50 is a good price.
I appreciate that, but I was told by someone at the station that it should be around $30 to that area. Is that not correct?
$30? Who told you that? Maybe they don't know the current prices. Everything is more expensive now.
I understand prices have gone up, but $50 still feels too high. Would you be willing to do it for $35?
35? That's too low for me. I have to make a living, The best I can do is $45.
$45. Does that include my luggage? I have 2 bags.
Luggage is extra. $5 per bag.
So that would be $55 total? That's even more than your original price.
No, you misunderstood. $45 total, including the bags. I'll include the luggage in the price.
Okay, so $45 total for the ride and both bags. Is that the final price?
Yes, $45. But if there's a lot of traffic, maybe a bit more.
Wait, I want to be clear about this. I need a fixed price before we start. I don't want any surprises at the end. Can we agree on $45 as the total price, regardless of traffic?
Traffic can be unpredictable. If we get stuck, it costs me more time and fuel.
I understand, but I need to know the exact amount I'll pay. How about this? $40 fixed price no matter what happens with traffic. Does that work for you?
$40 fixed? Let me think. You know what? It's late in the day, and I want to finish my shift. Okay, $40 fixed price. No extra charges.
Perfect. So just to confirm, $40 total to take me to the Riverside Hotel on Queen Street, including both bags, and that's the final price even if there's traffic?
Yes, that's correct. $40 total.
And you accept cash, right? I don't have a credit card with me right now.
Cash is fine. Actually, I prefer cash.
Great. And one more question. Do you know approximately how long the journey should take in normal conditions?
In normal traffic, about 20 minutes. Maybe 25 at this time of day.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. And you'll take the most direct route?
Of course, the quickest way. I've been driving in this city for 15 years. I know all the routes.
Excellent. I appreciate your help. Before we go, can I get your name and taxi number just in case I need to contact the company later?
Sure. My name is Ahmed, and the taxi number is written on the side of the car. It's T4729.
T4729. Got it. Thank you, Ahmed.
No problem. Let me help you with your bags.
That's very kind, thank you. This larger one is quite heavy.
It's okay, I've got it. Please get in the back seat. I'll put the bags in the trunk.
Perfect. Oh, one last thing. Do you have air conditioning? It's quite warm today.
Yes, of course. I'll turn it on as soon as we start driving.
Wonderful. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, let's go. Riverside Hotel, Queen Street. We should be there in about 20 minutes.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Now let's break down the most important vocabulary and expressions from that dialogue. These words and phrases are essential for negotiating taxi fares and discussing transportation arrangements. Expression 1. Are you available for a ride? This is a polite way to ask a taxi driver if they can take you somewhere. The word available means free or not busy. A ride is a casual word for a journey in a vehicle. Additional example. Excuse me, are you available for a ride at the airport right now? This expression is useful because it's polite and direct. You're checking if the driver is working and willing to take you before you start discussing details. In some countries, taxi drivers might be on break or finishing their shift, so asking if they're available is respectful. Word 2. Fare. A fare is a noun that means the money a passenger pays for a journey on public transportation or in a taxi. It's the standard word used for taxi prices. Additional example. What's the fare to the city center from here? This is professional, neutral vocabulary that's understood everywhere. It's more formal than saying price or cost, and it's a specific term used in the transportation industry. When you use the word fare, drivers know you're familiar with how taxis work. Expression 3. That seems quite expensive. This is a polite way to tell someone that you think the price is too high without being rude or aggressive. The word seems softens your statement. Additional example. This repair bill seems quite expensive. Could you explain what the charges are for? This phrase is important because it allows you to question the price without offending the other person. It expresses your concern while leaving room for discussion. It's much more diplomatic than saying that's too expensive or that's a ripoff. Expression 4. Would you be willing to do it for? This is a negotiation phrase. You're asking if the person is open to accepting a different price. The phrase, would you be willing, is very polite and gives the other person the power to say yes or no. Additional example. Would you be willing to do the job for $500 instead of $600? This is excellent language for any negotiation situation, not just taxis. It's respectful because you're asking, not demanding. It acknowledges that the other person has a choice, which makes them more likely to consider your offer seriously. Expression 5. Fixed price. This phrase means a price that has been agreed upon and will not change, regardless of circumstances. A fixed price gives you certainty and prevents surprise charges. Additional example. I prefer a fixed price contract, so I know exactly how much I'll spend. This is crucial vocabulary for taxi negotiations in countries where meters aren't commonly used. When you say fixed price, you're making it clear that you want to agree on the total amount before starting, with no additional charges at the end. Expression 6. Just to confirm. This phrase is used when you want to verify or double-check information you've just received. It's a polite way to make sure you understood correctly. Additional example. Just to confirm, the meeting is tomorrow at 3 o'clock in room 205, correct? This expression is extremely useful in any situation where accuracy matters. It shows you're being careful and responsible when dealing with money or important arrangements. Confirming the details prevents misunderstandings and disputes later. Word 7. Shift. A shift is a noun that refers to a period of time during which someone works. Taxi drivers, nurses, factory workers, and many other professionals work in shifts. Additional example. My shift starts at 6 in the morning and ends at 2 in the afternoon. Understanding this word helps you understand why some drivers might be more willing to negotiate at certain times. If a driver is near the end of their shift, they might accept a lower fare just to get one more customer before going home. Expression 8. The most direct route. This phrase means the shortest or quickest way to get from one place to another. It implies you don't want a driver to take unnecessary detours. Additional example. Please take the most direct route to the hotel because I'm in a hurry. This is important to say because, unfortunately, some taxi drivers take longer routes to increase the fare, especially with tourists. When you mention the most direct route, You're indicating that you're aware of this possibility and expect honest service. Now we're going to focus on 8 key sentences from the dialogue. I'll say each sentence twice at natural speed, and then I'll explain when you'd use it and why it's useful in real life. After you hear each sentence, please pause the podcast and practice saying out loud yourself. This active practice will help you remember these phrases when you need them. Let's begin. Sentence 1. Excuse me, are you available for a ride? This is the perfect opening sentence when you approach a taxi. It's polite, clear, and immediately tells the driver what you need. Use this instead of just saying taxi or waving. It shows respect and professionalism. Sentence 2. How much would it cost to get there? This is an essential question for starting a fair discussion. Notice a conditional form, would it cost, which is more polite than how much does it cost? Use this sentence before getting into any taxi, without a meter. Sentence 3. That seems quite expensive. What's the usual fare for that distance? This sentence politely challenges a high price while asking for information. The phrase usual fare suggests you're informed about normal prices. This helps prevent drivers from overcharging tourists who don't know local rates. Sentence 4. Would you be willing to do it for $35? This is proper negotiation language. It's respectful and gives the driver dignity while making your counteroffer clear. Use this pattern whenever you want to suggest a different price in any negotiation. Sentence 5. I need a fixed price before we start. This sentence is crucial for protecting yourself from unexpected charges. It's firm but polite, and it makes your expectations absolutely clear. Say this whenever you're worried about surprise fees or additional costs. Sentence 6. Just to confirm, $40 total, including both bags, and that's the final price even if there's traffic? This is an excellent example of confirming all details before agreeing. Notice how it lists every element of the agreement. Use this pattern whenever you want to make sure there are no misunderstandings about what you've agreed to. Sentence 7. Can I get your name and taxi number just in case? This sentence serves 2 purposes. It gives you information you might need later, and it subtly tells the driver you're aware of safety procedures. This can encourage honest service because the driver knows they can be identified. Sentence 8. You'll take the most direct route, right? This sentence is phrased as a statement followed by a confirmation question. It assumes the driver will do the right thing while checking to make sure. This approach is less confrontational than asking, will you take the direct route? Excellent work today. Let's quickly review what we've learned in this episode. We listened to a realistic negotiation between a traveler and a taxi driver, where they discussed the fare, clarified what was included in the price, and reached a clear agreement before starting the journey. You heard how to question prices politely, make counteroffers respectfully, and confirm all details to avoid disputes. We explored 8 essential vocabulary items: available for ride, fare, that seems quite expensive, would you be willing to fix price, just to confirm shift, and the most direct route. These expressions give you the language you need to negotiate confidently and protect yourself from overcharging. We also practiced 8 key sentences that you can use immediately the next time you need to negotiate a taxi fare. Remember, negotiating doesn't mean being aggressive or rude. The best negotiations happen when both people feel respected and reach an agreement that seems fair to everyone. Don't be afraid to ask questions, suggest different prices, or walk away if the price seems unreasonable. I encourage you to listen to this episode again. Practice the sentences out loud and imagine yourself in this situation. The more you practice now, the more confident you'll feel when you really need these skills. Thank you for listening to English in Real Life. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with other English learners who travel or plan to travel. Until next time, keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, knowing how to negotiate politely is a valuable skill in English and in life. Safe travels and happy learning.